see who we got out there tonight. Norway 3 Radio, Mexico Radio. Riveting. KA3 RMR.
I told you you'd get around.
Who's this?
Who is that? KA3ZWN.
I guess I should know this person.
Yeah, you should. My name's Kevin. Spoken to you many times.
Ken. Okay, I'll have to make that a mental note.
Kevin. V-I-N. K-E-V-I-N.
Oh, you're Kevin.
I'll tell you, you're quick on the pickup.
Well, that's what you said your name was. I had a long day today, Kevin. I got back like 40 minutes ago. I didn't get any nappy-dappy in today. And oh God, I'm just beat.
Yeah, I know that kind of feeling.
But we got it done now. We got it done.
Truly, that's all that mattered. Get down to the bottom of it. If you got it done and whatever you were doing, when you got it done, well, I'd see if you're a little better.
This is more money for more radio junk. Maybe someday I'll sound as good as Ray.
Well, you're asking a lot there.
Well, yes, Ray, I'll never sound that good, so it'll be like trying to climb Mount Everest. Speaking of which, why do people climb that mountain? I mean, you know you're gonna die, right?
I don't get it either. Don't really see that attraction. I like to climb things, but didn't want to quite go up there.
I mean, if you want to commit suicide and you want to go out with a challenge because you're just a sadomasochist, I could see how that'd be a great idea. That'd be a great plan. But if you actually want to go up there because you want to say that you climbed Mount Everest and you survived, there's something wrong with you.
It's almost like amateur radio operators. Something wrong with us.
Oh, there is. There's no doubt about that. This hobby's going right to a sickness. It is now a quest. I'm going to start feeding my towers and antennas Viagra.
We can make them grow if you want to, really. We have the ability to build things up under them and push them right up in the air.
You know you're really sick when you're like a middle-aged dude and you get almost the same pleasure from watching or looking at an amateur radio catalog as you do from Playboy. That's when you really need clinical help.
Yeah, when you open up the centerfold and it's a Palstar and a tuner.
Oh, I'm rubbing myself right now.
One that's balanced on the input and the output.
Oh, stop it. You're taking me over the edge. In 3 RMR to 50.
KH3ZWN. This is too much fun.
I love my radio. I go to sleep listening to it.
Oh, that's sick. KH2SPK.
Yeah, it is kind of sick, isn't it? All right, let me pose it to you this way. We'll get your opinion on both of you. Would you rather go to bed listening to a a nagging old bitter wife about all what you never did for her? Or would you like to go to bed listening lightly to a ham radio group that you really appreciate in the background?
Interesting way of looking at it. So the less of the two evils, I guess you already figured that out.
With the radio, you can turn it off.
Yeah, I know that. Well, thank goodness I don't have that problem.
Nor do I, brother.
Yep. Oh, well, another exciting day. How's everything on your end?
I'm hot, I'm tired, I had a long day, and I don't want any bitching or complaining.
I don't know what to say.
Don't bitch, don't complain, and it's all good.
I don't know what to say. I had, what did I say? I watched the kids, my daughter's kids, and played around with the radios, found a bad coax on between my radio and the amplifier, and replaced that. Yeah, flaky SWRs, and all better. And I stuck a duplexer between my radio and the amplifier to help alleviate the front end of my radio getting some kind of interference that is from a local tower nearby, and it helps out.
Interesting. What do you think was wrong with the patch cable?
I don't care. I checked it. SWRs were flaky on it. I even checked into a dummy load, and the dummy load was not flat. So well, that's right. It's into a perfect 50 ohm load. It's not flat. So it's time for it to go. With no cigar. Made up a new one with some R and flat as a pancake.
Yeah. Well, might have been some corrosion on either the shield or the tip, something there somewhere. You weren't getting 100%.
Well, it was time for it to go. My SWRs are flat as a pancake. That's what I wanted. Sometimes it worked perfect. Now sometimes it didn't. So whatever the case may be, it had to go.
Oh, brother, I know. Listen, I have that. God, every time I make a change down here, add a radio, take a piece of equipment away, or even just moving a speaker cable, put a new speaker, I build a new speaker, move the wires around, you touch something, next thing you know, you got 5 things going haywire. You're like, what the?
Exactly. But this tech work it worked for me. It helped out a lot. You know how you turn the preamps in, maybe you don't have a problem, but I did have a problem when you turn the preamps on. One, it sometimes gets the flickering over front end overload, and hit 2 with everything, flicker more. Well, I went ahead and purchased a used, I think it was swapped at $28. Ooh, I didn't spend too much. A duplexer for the ones you stick on VHF and UHF type radios that go HF all the way to UHF, and they got the 2 antenna ports on it. Well, one of them stuck that, I used a low band part and stuck it between the radio and the amplifier to try and eliminate any high frequencies getting in the front of my radio. And I am convinced that I did have some high-end frequencies getting into the front end of my radio, because we do have a tower about 1.5 miles from my house that belongs to the county that's about 280 feet tall with all kinds of government installation stuff on it, plus cell phone and everything else on it.
Oh, yeah. You were getting blasted with VHF, UHF. No doubt.
Yep, but it helped me tremendously. I really don't... I think I put the preamp on 1 frequency, and I saw it flicker a little bit, but it was intermitting, and it was nothing like what it was.
Yeah, the only time I ever saw mine go overload like that is when lightning strikes hit close by. You'll get a little red flash every now and then.
Yep, I see that too, but I'm wondering if it'll help that.
Well, that's going to be tough, because your frequency on your lightning crash area is a lot of low frequency stuff, and we're right down in that neighborhood, so yeah, it's going to be real tough on that.
A little bit. I know between 56 megahertz And between 56 megahertz and 70 megahertz, it gives over 40 dB of simulation. And anything above that, it just gets better.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. I don't have to deal with that down here, thank God. I just got regular noise issues, and I've been using my log a lot more here than the other two. It just seems to perform pretty good for everybody that I want to listen to. Now, I know my linear beverage going north. Here's Randy. Oh, probably 3 or 4 S units more than the log does, but it's still. When I go on the linear beverage looking north, I lose some other guys. They drop a bit. So with the log, it kind of makes a nice even balance over everybody.
I tried the log. It didn't work for me. I made it up to 30-foot long, perfect square. It didn't work. I abandoned that project and did something absolutely stupid, obnoxious, and it works great.
Oh, yeah, you were telling me about the 2 Cs. It looks like a fan, basically.
Yeah, imagine, imagine 2 pieces of wire each side of I'm going to call it, it's about a 6-to-1 current bound, not current, it's about a 6-to-1 transformer. It's not like a 3-wire balance. It's literally 2 separate ones wound separate. So it just really is a transformer. And I think I told you that the 2 Cs, imagine each leg on the Cs coming from the center is about 140 foot each. And, like I said, it goes from, opposite directions. The 2 Cs are completely opposite from each other. So I'm picking up north, south, east, west, everything. And it actually works pretty good. I like it enough. I'm not going to take it down. I like it. It was only about 9 inches off the ground, maybe 8 inches. 8 inches off the ground, and it follows my metal fence.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it's working, do it. Yeah, there's no doubt. You got to do what works for you. I tried all kind of different stuff down here, and I finally ended up with the 3 different units I have now that seem to be performing a lot better than the full. I had a full wavelength loop, basically a 500 and some foot loop. Well, it probably wasn't 500. It was more like 470 something, whatever it was. But it was around the fence. It was about 4 foot off the ground or so. It was higher at certain parts so you could walk under for access points and whatever. But I used that for many years, and that did okay. But it was noisy. It had a lot of noise because it had a lot of capture area, and I'm down here in the land of high noise and buzz and sodium vapor lamps and billboard lights and car wash and carport and Turkey Hill and the main drag, and oh my God, it's endless. So I had to get a little bit more serious, so that's why I did what I did. But yeah, you got to do what works for you. And so far, I've had good luck with my log. I'm impressed with the way that little sucker works. But I did notice, however, that when it's raining, it's not quite as good as when the ground is dry. So obviously, it probably would perform better if I had it off the ground like a foot or something on little posts or whatever. But I can't do that with where I have it laid out right now. But that's okay. It's just one of 3 different units I have out there to try. So it's always good to have multiple choices and 3 or more.
And 1 DBL.
You were a plus 20 to me, and then it slowly started going down, and right now you're about an S6. So the band it just went from plus 20 to S6. Watch it slowly go down. I said, oh my God, the band's goofy. Well, I do have 2 antennas to choose from. I don't have a switch. I can flip between my inverted L, or I can flip to that my dual C antennas. But it works. I have 2 options. So I think that's all. I think that's good enough for me. I can make it work, and it actually works fairly decent. And the noise is when I click it on, when I see about a 9 of noise, it takes it down to a 1.5 on the meter, and maybe barely touching 2. So maybe a little bit down, but I can see everybody's signal. It seems to swing quite a bit from that. Like I've seen it go down from 1.2 to, like, still swing up to a 9 on some people. So I think it works good. I'm going to stick with it for now, play it for about a year, and see what happens. But your signal took a nosedive. I guess mine's not doing too good then.
Yep, you went way down yourself there. The band just collapsed for a moment. So I heard Ray check in there. We'll give Ray a chance to get in there and say a few syllables in Friormal.
Come on, Ray, give us some words of wisdom.
Where did you hear him?
Oh, he snuck in there. His amp ain't on yet. He's got to wait 3 minutes.
It's on now.
There he is.
Hello, Ray. Okay, if you're speaking.
I hear you, but not great.
Yeah, the band collapsed on us there for a sec, Ray.
You're usually about a plus 20, and right now you're about a...
Got a flip-floppy band right now.
I tell you, I was talking to Mark. He was a plus 20, and then just went from a plus 20 all the way down to a 5. And he just took a nosedive on me.
I wonder if we're not experiencing some solar activity.
I didn't get all that.
Gee, I hope the sun didn't go out.
Well, let me look here, Ray. Let me check. Yep, it's still up here. It's getting ready to go down below the horizon, but it's still up there at about maybe, I'd say 5 degrees or so. And it's still pretty bright. So if it went out 8 minutes ago, and the light hasn't got here yet.
That's right. That's what could have happened.
That would really suck, you know it? That would be the last nice day on Earth. It'd take about a week, and things would start getting really bleak. After about a month, most of us would be underground or dead.
Yeah, I don't think things would look too good.
Yeah, after about a month, the surface temperature is probably down around minus 40, minus 50.
I don't think it would take that long.
Oh, yeah, it actually would take that long because the oceans have to shed all their heat and all of the continents and all of that. It all has to shed heat. And it does. It moderates things. And it takes about, the first week, the weather would be drastically affected. You'd have weird weather for the whole first week. But after about a month, things would start to plummet real quick on the temperature, and it would continue to fall. So you better get underground or have really warm clothes.
No global warming?
No, global warming don't work too well when there's no sun. After about a year, the atmosphere would start to freeze and actually freeze out on the surface.
Yeah, Mark, your signal just bounced back.
Yeah, it's flip-floppy. The gateway to heaven net. I don't have a heavenly hope, so probably not.
Yeah, okay. I'll make sure that I don't visit anymore. I don't want to be thrown in the pit.
The gateway? What frequency is the gateway to heaven net?
The one they said, get out of here if you want to talk about antennas.
Oh, well, that's not the gateway to heaven net. That's the, it's my channel and you're not invited net.
Oh, I thought you called it the gateway to heaven or something.
No, that's not that group, no.
Nobody can talk about antennas?
No, you can talk about antennas, but you only get a limited time, and it has to be something he wants to talk about.
What are we talking about?
There's two of them like that on that particular frequency. It's their frequency, and And if they think you ran over time, taking their time on their frequency, you just have to leave.
So I take it nobody has a good signal there.
Some of them do occasionally, but they're not really interested in performance. They're just interested in a telephone.
Yeah, Randy, give me a landline. I tried to call you, but you didn't answer.
Yeah, I have to go get my phone. What do you want?
Just to ask you a question.
Can't ask it on the air because Mark's here. I got it. I'll call you right up.
That's right. I don't want Mark to hear what we're talking about. This is only for members under 75.
I told you I was going to vote to get him out of here anyway.
I'm the best member you ever threw off.
Sorry, Mark, you're gone.
Oh, that figures.
Well, wait. We're not really totally getting rid of you. You've got to go back to the old net for 30 days, and if you survive, then you can come back.
You just want to stir up trouble. That's all you want to do. I went over there. I was polite. I was nice. I didn't make any accusatory comments or statements. No foul language. Nothing that's weird, or definitely no UFO talk. And just a little bit too much antenna, and it starts to hurt the brain. It just, ow, I had to think about something. Ow, no!
Why are we talking about another net anyway? That's not cool.
Yeah, anyway.
Leave it alone, Mark. Just let it go.
Well, they always talk about us, don't they?
Yeah, two wrongs don't make a right.
Randy?
I always say kick them while they're down.
I didn't bring it up.
Somebody's got to be the order of sensible order here.
Randy, are you going to turn your amp on or what?
So let's talk about the Blackbird. What is that plane? What is that thing?
SR-71.
Have you ever got a close-up look at the engines on that thing?
It was actually
do you know how they start?
RS-71, but the president that was in when he announced its inception screwed it up in his speech, and they didn't want to change him or correct him.
Yeah, I know how they start. Buick Wildcat engines.
How do they start them?
With two Buick 425 cubic inch Buick Wildcat engines.
What I was reading was two 454 Chevrolet engines.
Well, back then there was no 454, so they used the 425 horsepower Buick Wildcat.
Oh, that's back in the day. How fast do they fly?
Well, I don't think anybody really knows, but they'll admit to about 2,100 miles an hour.
Yeah, what I read, 2,200. 9/10 titanium, and I think the part that I think is the most interesting. Well, I think it's all very interesting. Some of it is very the part that's is interesting to me is they get so hot because they're flying through that ice cold temperature way up high, but the body of that thing gets over 1,000 degrees because of the friction that it causes on the body of that thing, and the wings and the body are corrugated so it can flex. It gets to be a foot bigger, 6 inches. It comes by 6 inches the outside chassis of that thing does.
Imagine the engineering that went into that baby.
And the fuel tanks don't hold fuel. Do you know that when it's on the ground?
Yeah, it leaks. Here's another interesting fun fact about that particular plane. You know the little pointy things that are in the intake of the engine? The little cones?
Yeah.
They actually are there for a reason. They move back and forth depending on the speed of the aircraft, how many Mach it's going at what altitude, so that they always can optimize the slowdown speed of the air intake for the engine. It breaks the shock wave up.
You got to get a good look at the engines in that thing. They're really remarkable. They're nothing like a regular jet engine.
They can't be like a regular jet engine. That thing does like Mach 4.
Mach 3.
Well, they claim Mach 3. I personally think it can go quite a bit faster, but look it up online, Randy. Is that what they say, 2,200?
Yep, 2,200 miles an hour, full boogie.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I always thought it was faster than that. I think that plane could run up around 3,000 miles an hour.
How tight of a turn can it take at Mach 3?
Oh, God, probably, 10 miles, 20 miles?
100 miles.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Good Lord. No fast course corrections on that.
Yep, runs along at 3,200 feet per second, faster than a bullet. You couldn't hit it with a bullet if you were behind it.
I still say that plane can go faster than 2,200 miles an hour.
I don't know how they could engineer it like that. 2,200 miles an hour is booging. I mean, and then the body of the thing expands by 6 inches, and it gets over 1,000 degrees when it's up there at negative temperatures, negative degrees Fahrenheit temperatures.
You know where they got the titanium from to build it?
Yeah, from Russia. They have a Phantom company buy it.
That's right. That was pretty sneaky.
And they have to take off with the fuel tanks empty, just about empty, and then once it gets up in the sky, then they can fill it with the big jets, the big tankers. You know, they hold 80,000 pounds of fuel, and then it goes up to cruising altitude, and when the thing expands, the tank seals. That's how the tank seal is by the expansion, the calculated expansion.
I want to know, how are they getting enough oxygen to keep that thing burning at 120,000 feet?
Those cones on the front of the engine. You know, the air pressure going into the engines at max speed like that is like 40 psi.
Right. But the amount of oxygen at 120,000 feet is almost zero.
Not if you're pushing it in at 40 psi, and the amount of oxygen is the same. It's still 20%. You just gotta put a lot more through it.
And every pilot that flies those things, there's only been 150 of them qualified to fly it, and every pilot has to be in good shape for sure. But what else do they need to have? What else are they required to be?
Astronauts?
Not married.
No, you're both wrong. And Ray, you're 100% wrong. As a matter of fact, they must be married.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yep, they have to have something to come home to.
That's a lot of plane to lose for somebody with a death wish.
Oh, they didn't want anybody to abscond with the plane and land in Russia?
I don't know. I guess that's probably the theory behind it.
That was quite a plane when they built that baby back in 1962. That was way, way, way ahead of its time.
And they were really, just built for reconnaissance?
Yep, no weapons.
KC-1RS.
Hello, Russ. Had to hit the tuner real quick.
Did you get an auto tuner yet?
No, not just yet.
Okay, just checking.
What happened to Russ?
Bo Peep just walked in right around the time I was talking to you guys, so I gotta pay attention to her. She's good looking.
Well, I don't blame you for paying attention to your wife. That's probably that's a sign of a smart man.
Yeah, look what happened to me.
My God, I just say that, and then Maureen's right outside the window getting the garden hose. She goes, "Are you saying that just because I'm standing here?"
She finally figured it out, huh?
No, Ray, you just got smarter than the average bear.
So what did you accomplish today, Raymond? Oh, and by the way, Tootie is feeling a lot better, but he won't be on tonight. He's shooting for tomorrow night.
Yay!
I'll tell you what, he's no Toad Harbor super ham.
I told him we don't want him on until he's feeling 100% because we've got specific questions to ask him, and we need him to be at full sport, we'll call it.
Yeah, well, that bug, I tell you, I've had that thing he's got a couple times, and it's a bear. It's a real bear.
That very next day, baby, I was on here.
WA3FPN.
Hey, Mike.
Good evening.
Good evening, all.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm anxious to go see what the doctor has to say.
Is that tomorrow?
No, not till next Thursday, I think. I have boat anchors to carry.
So how do you feel now as compared to before you had the surgery overall? I mean, all aches and pains.
I'm not really in any pain. I'm taking a gabapentin 3 times a day. It's the only pill that I'm on. Occasionally, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and have a little bit of pain in my one leg, and I'll take some ibuprofen. I didn't take any last night. So for the most part, I'm not in any pain.
At all? No pain?
No.
What's gabapentin?
I think it's some kind of a nerve blocker.
Okay.
Is it something that you can get addicted to, or any of that crap that they're feeding everybody?
No, I don't. It's not an opioid. I was on an opioid, and the one morning I took it, it really wigged me out, and I went to the doctor because it scared me a little bit, and they checked everything and said I was all right. I emailed my back doctor and asked him if I could stop taking it, and he said, depending on how many you're taking a day, you might want to go off of them gradually, but I was only taking like one every 8 hours, so I just stopped taking them, and everything's been fine.
That's the best thing you could possibly do.
You saved yourself a lot of trouble doing that.
Yeah, please don't take any more of that stuff. No matter how much pain you're in, don't take that stuff. That's life changing there. Life ending in most cases.
I would not make a good drug addict, and at that point I thought I'd rather put up with a little more pain than feel the way I was feeling taking them.
And to think people actually willingly do that to themselves.
Yeah, I don't know how. I couldn't do it.
How about shooting up with heroin 2 or 3 times a day with a needle? How's that?
Well, if you started doing it, you'd be relishing it. You would just want it. You'd have to have it. So, I would be a terrible drug addict, and I mean I would be addicted. I have a very addictive personality, and I start doing something, I go into it full bore. I'm just like a wild man, and I know that's why I've never taken drugs ever. Never smoked pot. Never taken any drugs, because I know if I did, I would be world class at it.
Well, you're world class at ham radio.
Wait.
I would be dead, you know. And thanks, Mark. I'm not sure if you're kidding or not, but I'll take it anyway. My mind thinks it's a good, so I'll take it. But what I'm saying is, I would just be one of those people that wouldn't be able to stop. I think, you know, once you get hooked onto something, I get hooked into it, and I would like to think that I could, but I'm always. That's why I've never done any of that stuff. Never, ever. Friends of mine, kids in school, all that stuff. I was pressured many times, you know, but I just like, no way, man. I am not doing it.
What about alcohol?
I don't know. I can take alcohol or not. I mean, I don't drink during the week at all. When I say I'm going out to the kitchen to get something to drink, I'm getting a big glass of lemon water. So that's what I drink during the day, during the evening, you know. But I mean, I can Friday nights, Saturday nights, I can drink alcohol, but I can just walk away. I don't need it. I'm certainly not like need to have it. That's for sure.
Are we still leaning towards red?
I would say yes. So I've got right now five red and 1 white. I guess,
well, okay,
Mike, you've got a vote, and so does Joanne.
If I don't hear anything else, that's what I'm turning into HQ.
Well, what's your vote? I got to have your vote.
Oh, I would go either way, but the red is fine with me.
Yeah, but what would you prefer?
Probably red.
Okay, and what would Joanne prefer?
Oh, I don't think she really cares.
Well, I'm not going to put her down for a vote then. So now we're at 6-1.
Yeah, don't even put me down because I can't drink wine anymore if it's got sulfides in it. I've experimented with I told everybody this, but I'll say it again, with the wine without sulfides added, and that works. That doesn't screw me up. It tastes lousy. It's not really good wine. And I tried something else tonight. I tried mixing the Tomcat gin with root beer. Oh my God, does that taste like crap? You can't believe the difference between mixing gin with root beer and with Diet Coke and Diet root beer. What a difference! It's remarkable, and the same thing with the rum too.
I don't know how anybody could mix anything with root beer except for vanilla ice cream.
Oh, now you're talking.
Well, I'm just telling you, it makes it have a complete. It tastes like plastic. It doesn't even taste right anymore. It tastes like some kind of chemical was in there. It tastes terrible. And when I was at the store the other day, at the liquor store, there was a guy there that sells high-end rum. You know, he sells liquor. So I said, well, what do you have for rum? Really good rum. He goes, I got it's a world-class rum. He said, the trouble is it's really expensive. Nobody ever buys it. So I said, well, how much can you send him a bottle for? Just one bottle. And he said, $38. He said, $38. He said, I can let him have one for $38. So I said, okay, get one. Now, I don't know. I think that's the wholesale price, to be honest with you. This is it's like a 20-year-old age rum. He says it's one of the world-class rums that everybody thinks it's like the best. So I figured I'd try one.
$38 for how big of a bottle?
Oh, I'm sure it's a fifth.
I mean, that's not bad.
Well, that's the wholesale price, supposedly.
Does anyone have any experience with computers and homeowners insurance?
Yeah, if you try to collect, you're going to you'll go up on your price. So you're probably better off not collecting and eating it.
Okay, that's pretty much what I was going to do. But somebody said, well, your homeowner's insurance ought to cover that. But I think I guess they take into consideration the deductible there, so I'd end up eating it anyway.
Yeah, well, if they're going to take off the deductible one, and then they're going to go up on your insurance too. So you don't. Well, yeah, but how can you blame the computer on homeowners? I mean, what had happened to it?
lightning.
Right. Do you don't have that lightning protector on the box, the main box?
Well, I don't think this one did. The new one does, but I don't think the old one did. I thought it did, but I think it was defective.
Are you talking about on the computer or on the box when it comes into your cellar?
No, I'm talking about the power strip.
Oh, forget the power strips. You got to put that big, heavy-duty one. They cost about. They haven't gone up because of one other guy in here. Other Mike was just he put one on, and they cost like $75. They're a giant MOV, and you put them on the panel coming in from the street. That's number one, and then you have another one on the line coming off the wall.
What is it called?
They're a spike protector. They're really metal oxide varistors, but, if you go to a place and you say, I want a real big heavy-duty spike protector to put on my panel, the guy's going to hand you something that looks like a cube that's maybe 2 inches by 3 inches, or, it's usually 2 inches by 3 inches or something, and it's got real three big heavy wires coming out of it, and you hook it to the panel.
So where do you hook it?
Well, I'm pretty sure you hook one side to one side of the panel, to the 120 volts, the other side to the 120 volts, and the third one goes to the ground.
Yeah, they're $100 on Amazon. They have them, but if they take too many shots, they die. So they have them with replaceable modules and warning lights and stuff like that for about $250. They do pretty much the same thing, but they, if this one takes a shot, all you got is a LED on it, so then you have to swap the whole thing out.
Yeah, mine's got two green LEDs, and if the LEDs go out, then the thing doesn't work anymore. But mine's been hit many times, and it still works.
I gave Randy a quick phone call. Here there's an event coming up in June, so I just wanted to give him a call and say hello, and I wanted to say hello to everyone on the air as well. So I'll hope to get on the air soon. I need to get some wire.
We got wire. Okay, I'll be back. I'll be on this side for a bit. KB2ZVP.
A tuna.
Okay, what's this thing called on Amazon?
A spike protector. I don't know what they call it. Spike protector, metal oxide varistor, whatever.
It's made by Intermatic. It's called the Intermatic Panel Guard. It's an IG1240 Romeo Charlie 3. Whole home type 1 or 2 surge protection device.
Well, you went too fast. Give me the numbers again.
India Golf 1240 Romeo Charlie 3.
And how much is that one?
It looks like it's like $99, but imagine if you shopped around, maybe you could get them cheaper. I know they may have them at Home Depot. I know that Home Depot stocks the fancy one that costs $250.
Right. Well, the one I got cost $75, and that's what Mike said he paid for his too. So that's the one I'd probably buy because mine works really well.
Well, what's the model number of the one that you have?
I have no idea. I'd have to go down and look it over. I haven't seen it. Well, I see it, but I haven't looked at it since I put it on 20 years ago.
That's probably why it was $75.
Well, that's what I thought too, but Mike just put one on his panel, and that's what he said he paid for it, $75.
After 20 years, how do you know it's still good?
Because there's 2 green lights on it, and if the lights are on, it's good, and if the lights are out, then it's no good.
All right, roger that. I didn't hear you say that before. I got you.
And I've seen it work. Just recently, I was watching TV, and there was a big lightning strike very close, and all the power in the house went off. The TV went off, the box, everything it flashed off just for, 0.2 of a second and came back on. And that's when that thing shorts the ground.
Yeah, but it's only going to take that so many times, right, before it goes bad?
Well, I'll bet you mine's been hit a couple of 100 times, and it's still working.
They say the clamping times with those metal oxide varistors are, they get pretty iffy after they've taken a few hits. Now, obviously, it depends on the quality of them. The cheap little crappy ones they put in the power strips, the 6 or 8 outlet power strips that you buy for $10, $12, they don't last very long in those. I know that.
Well, here's one that says whole home surge protector for $249, $250.
That seems like a lot of money to me.
Yeah, that one is the one with the replaceable modules in case it really takes a hit. But I'm looking on the Home Depot site. They got one for like $85. Looks like it do the trick. They got a little better one, I guess, for $115. So they kind of run the gamut. Square D's got them. Intermatic's got them. Leviton's got them. So you got to just hunt around, I guess.
Yeah, all these ones that I'm looking at on Amazon here are Intermatic. I'll have to make a trip to Lowe's.
When did your computer get hit?
Last Sunday. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3. There's 3 or 4 computers in the house, and only the one took a hit.
Yeah, okay, well, first of all, you should have a good strip, a real high-quality strip plugged into with the protection in it, and then you should have the protection on the panel at the same time, and that'll do a pretty good job.
You don't use a UPS with your computer?
No, this is the wife's computer, and the thing's probably about 20 years old, and I've been after her for a while to get a new one, and she didn't, and it took out the power supply and the motherboard.
Yeah, I took a shot through the phone line one time, and it burned the UART chips out of my motherboard, and my modem got burned up. So that one I just had to get, another motherboard and another modem. But it can get in any number of ways. If you've got a cable modem, you can take a shot through that too.
20 years old? That's not a computer, that's a calculator.
I think it has tubes in it.
And, it's funny. I love this conversation we're having because if a guy has a computer that's more than 5 years old, everybody laughs at him. But yet there's hams in here with radios that are 15, 20, 25 years, 30 years old, and they think they're the greatest things in the world.
That's my wife.
Well, let's see. My desktop right now, I built it 7 years ago, but I built it like a tank. I bought all good stuff for it, and then about 5 years ago, I went through and I upgraded a couple of things. But right now, it's hanging in there. I don't really see any reason why I need to gussy it up at all, since all I do is surf the web and send emails and stuff. I very rarely do much more than anything. I run like antenna modeling junk on it, but it whoopee-doo, right? You don't need a supercomputer to do that anymore.
Well, let me ask you a quick question, because you're the computer guru. A friend of mine was a computer guru. This is back in probably 95, I'd say. 96, 97-ish. And he was like you. You know, he builds his own computers. He was a computer whiz. He does all kinds of computer stuff all the time. He can fix them when they screw up. So I said, he says, yeah, come with me. There's a computer show. Well, he said, so we go to the computer show, and he goes to see the big Taboma there, and he says, okay, give me that. I want one of those, this, that, and the other. Give me that. Get by 5 or 6 things. He assembled it for me, gave it to me, came up to the house, set it up, got it running, and it ran. And the thing gave us nothing but trouble. It constantly was freezing. You know, it would go into its freeze, and you'd have to shut it off and restart it. So we got sick of that, or my wife got sick of that after about maybe 2 or 3 years, and we bought a Dell on a recommendation from our brother-in-law. He said, don't screw around. Just call up Dell and tell them what you're going to do and buy the whole Dell system. We bought the Dell. It was 100 times better and never had an issue with it at all. Now, why?
Well, they assemble all the parts. Like if you build a system for yourself, you have to be very careful about what components you buy and mix together. If you do a poor job, I mean, you could pick one wrong component. Like he may have put the wrong kind of memory in that machine. There's not a whole lot of things that'll freeze up your system, short of like a virus getting it or something. But memory is a pretty common thing to lock your system up. But the thing that Dell does and the other OEMs is they match all their components. They make sure that the memory that they put on that motherboard is designed to be on that motherboard. All the settings are done up, you know, because, you know, when they're making that system, they're making like 50,000 of them, you know, and they have them all, they test them because they got to support them for a year or 2 years or whatever. So they make them to last long enough until you're ready to buy yet another one from them. So they're going to be more reliable. You're going to pay a lot more money for that.
Yeah, okay. Well, the point is that Dell just worked flawlessly. It really was a much, much better computer system. And, of course, you know, I mean, I don't know anything about computers at all, so I shouldn't even really be talking about it. So go ahead, back to Net.
No, you know, they still make a pretty decent computer. We use HPE. We use the HP Enterprise class servers and Blade servers where I work, but we're more and more buying Cisco UCS gear, which is like, it's not like anything that you would buy for your house, right? I mean, it's like way above and beyond, but you know, they buy like HP laptops, and the one that I got runs pretty decent. But when I was at the University of Miami, they were a Dell shop, and Dell servers were kind of okay, and they made a pretty decent laptop, and the desktop systems we had were decent. So I got a lot of experience fooling around with the Dells too, and they're all right. They're not everybody's cup of tea, but they're all right. I got tired of messing around, running around with my kid for his gaming computer, so I just bought an off-the-shelf Dell system because I got like a discount through Dell because we were a big customer of theirs. And I hooked him up with a nice gaming computer, and I washed my hands of having to deal with him after that.
So I'm back. KB2ZVP.
So could you put together a computer today, this moment, and have a simulator that you build that's just like a real flight simulator for a real commercial airliner? Can you do that good yet?
Oh yeah, there are people that build big multi-monitor systems, so it actually looks like you're looking out not just the front window of the airplane, but the side windows as well. And and all the controls and everything. It's just pretty sophisticated nowadays. The flight simulators are very sophisticated for the home now.
How much would it cost to do one like that, with so you could look out the side windows and everything, and the top of the line, you know, all the right equipment to do it right? How much would it cost?
I don't know. I would say if you're buying the whole Mugello with all the controls and the panels and everything, I'd say probably about 20 G's. The sky's the limit. You know, you can do it seat of the pants, or, you know, first class. You know, it depends on the resolution of the monitors. You know, you can go out and buy a $300 monitor that's a great monitor, but you can also go out and spend $8,000 on a monitor. So it's, you know, but I'd say 20K would get you where you need to go.
Yeah, but 20K will get you where you need to go for a nice system. But the system that'll offer you the full loop, that does the loop, now you're talking big money, Ray.
Yeah, but I mean, you can buy like my buddy Paul's constantly watching Walmart. He said you can buy like a 56-inch or, you know, some huge television now for like $200 and something. And he said that's that 4G, super fine resolution. That's good enough. I mean, with so let's say you use those for TV screens. What's the computer going to cost?
You didn't get the loop part, did you?
What do you mean? To be able to do a loop and go fly, you know, upside down?
Yeah, upside down. You're in your living room. You're going to do a loop. Think about the cost of that. You got to flip the chair over, the whole bit.
Yeah, do they really make things like that?
I haven't seen one yet. Oh boy, somebody's way in the background.
That sounds like Joe down in Connecticut. But Joe, if that's you, you're not plugged into your antenna or something.
That's Paver Joe?
That's what it sounds like, but he's only like way down, so he's got his antenna fell down or something.
So did you guys hear Yaya or what?
Yeah. Who's that?
WZ2P.
No, is he in here?
That was Rich on the phone with me.
Oh, no kidding. Wow. That's cool.
You didn't hear him say hi to everybody?
No.
You're an asshole. Yeah, he called me. I just got off the phone with him.
Yep, no, I never heard him say hello.
You're an asshole.
W2KRY.
Hello, Randall.
What's up, beautiful people?
I don't know if there's somebody in there talking or what. I hear somebody way deep in the background. I just don't know what to... Maybe somebody from out west or something trying to talk. But there are... Either they don't have an antenna hooked up or they're on Mars.
I hear somebody talking in the background, but I think it's Maureen.
Yeah, I'm hearing the same thing. Can't tell what they're saying, but there's somebody down, you know, stuck down in the noise there. It has a voice, like I said, it sounds like a real, you know, heavy voice like Joe. That's why I thought it might be Joe.
Boy, if I only had the best radio available to man right now.
So, I was going to say something smart about how would you know it's the best radio known to man?
I worked it for a whole 5 days before I sent it off.
You didn't have a whole lot to compare it to.
I've got 3 freaking radios here to compare it to.
Yeah, but, I mean, that bar. Now, if you had a Kenwood 890 to compare it to, well, then you could have something to compare it to.
What a piece of dung.
I'll tell you what. If I had to go out today and know what I know now and buy a new radio, I would definitely buy another Kenwood 890. To me, that's the radio to buy. It's the right price, works right, beautiful rig.
Yeah, they all have a problem. You know, they all have little troubles here and there. But I'm sure that Yaesu, the 101, they'll get that ironed out fast. It won't be a tobacco. It won't be a tobacco. What is it? What am I looking for?
Debacle.
A debacle. It won't be a debacle like the ICOM story with the 7610. I can tell you that.
Well, you know, the funny thing about it is, if those were Chinese radios, they would have taken those guys out back and shot them by now. I just don't understand what's going on with ICOM, because really, I would think by now the people who ran, you know, the president and the vice presidents that run that company should be long gone by now for that stupidity they're doing.
Oh, you would know what would happen to them if they were North Korean, wouldn't you?
Yeah, they put him in front of that 20-millimeter ACAC gun and shoot him.
You heard what happened to those people, right?
Well, that's the rumor, but they say that's not necessarily true, because they just said it about somebody else just about a week or two ago, and the guy that supposedly was killed was seen somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
So, Ray, I'm looking at there's a company that's got a setup here. It looks like for about $2,000 you could have a pretty decent bare-bones system. They say 27-inch monitors. Anything bigger than that, it's not going to do that much more to improve the what they call the immersion effect. But with the controls and a seat and everything, you're looking at a couple grand. But I know that there are people that have sunk $20,000 into theirs.
Oh, I'm sure you can, but I'd love to get a real, I mean, the thing is, it has to be kind of a real flight simulator, real, that you can crash real easy, you know, and can you program like a certain kind of a aircraft to fly, a big twin-engine or 4-engine plane. That'd be kind of fun to try that.
Oh, there's guys that do that. The flight sim programs have add-ons for all the airliners and stuff of all the different models, and they you know, the yokes and the flight controls and stuff have feedback in them, just like the ones in the jets. It can get very realistic. But the ones that you know, that the airlines are training people in and stuff, those cost millions. I mean, I got to spend a little bit of time in an F-16 simulator, and yeah, that the government was paying a lot of money for those.
Oh, I'm sure. Could you fly it? Did you ever get to the point where you could successfully fly the plane and land it?
They gave us 2 tries to get in the air. We were using them primarily to do engine control simulations. We were operating them specific, because they got everything. The cockpit is almost identical to the F-16's cockpit, and the controls all work exactly the way they're supposed to, as far as the engine controls. And what we were doing was we had to simulate taking an engine from electronic engine control to the backup control and back without flaming out the engine. And it's unhealthy to do on a TF-100 PW-200 engine. It can get real ugly and catch things on fire. So they gave as much time as we needed in the simulator, and then when we ran through, everybody successfully, went back and forth, and then our final stage was to actually go do it in a real jet. But we had a little bit of time left over, and they gave everybody a shot at taking off, and everybody crashed at the end of the runway, even the guy that was a pilot.
Oh, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, the thing was, everybody like completely gunned them, and everybody forgot that. Right around the time you hit about 170 or 180 knots, you need to start rotating your landing gear and your flaps up. And you got like a very short window to do that, and if you don't, you just auger in. And everybody just augered in because they weren't, there's like a real quick trick sequence. It's like boom, 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 and you're airborne and you're rolling. So it just, you don't realize it because most of the time people get in airplanes that they don't take off, as rapidly as like an F-16 or an F-15.
Well, sounds like it'd be fun. I'd like to try to land a commercial airliner, on a simulator.
I had a friend that had a Mac computer. This is a long, long time ago.
I'm sure.
And he flew across the United States in his flight simulator. He picked like a small airplane, like a small Cessna, and he flew across the United States in it. He mapped out a route, and he had to figure out where he had to land before he ran out of fuel and all that stuff. And I mean, the graphics weren't great, but he would spend like if he had a 3-day weekend, he would take his plane and fly it to from San Francisco to New York and back. He was a nut.
Yeah, I guess. So 2D, are you in here?
So he won't be until tomorrow night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you killed him, Ray. You put too much pressure on the poor guy.
Well, I mean, he says he does 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups, and runs 2 miles every morning, so I figured he was in shape.
Tomorrow's the big day, Raymond. Tomorrow is the big day.
Oh, the big auction?
It is, yeah. It's the auction tomorrow. Can't wait.
Hey, Randy, I need a favor.
Yeah, sure, anything at all.
So I know because of the amount of Toad Harbor members that live in Massachusetts and associate members, that Toad Harbor is fully capable of validating pay-by-plate. Like when I came up to the unofficial Toad Harbor business, when I met with you guys a couple weekends ago, the state of Massachusetts has mistakenly requested $4.80 from me. So I need to get that validated. Think you could do that through Toad Harbor?
Absolutely, positively. Just call the girl on the 800 line there. Make sure you have somebody that can speak Spanish sitting next to you because you'll need a translator. And explain to her that you went for official Toad Harbor business, and give my personal my passcode, which is OU812, and then tell her that I said it's cool, and she'll say, "Sí, señor, no problem. Muy bien."
Yeah, it's crazy, it's only a matter of time before Connecticut starts to do this. Like the meter will be running the second my front tires leave my driveway. These communists are going to be filching money off of me. Yeah, hey, Ray, nice state you got there. It would be a shame if anything bad would happen to it.
Well, hold on. I'll tell you something. It's a bargain. It's a bargain going to Massachusetts because in New York State, you've got to stop at the toll booth, pick up the card, and then when you go, 8 miles, you got to pay the $4 for the 8-mile trip or whatever it is, So I'm on the thruway a lot, and I don't have an Easy Pass on my truck because it's a company truck, and I forget to shut the Easy Pass off or put it in the little pouch, and then next thing you know, I'm driving around the truck using it for my own business, and I kind of feel bad about doing that. So I just don't even use the Easy Pass that I have. So I just pay for the tolls, and we have to stop, pay the toll, pick up the ticket and all that stuff. And it costs about 4 times more money in New York than it does in Massachusetts. And by the end of the year, they're supposed to get rid of all the toll takers in New York State. And they're going to be doing the exact same thing that Massachusetts does at that point. Of course, they'll do it, and the price will be 4 times more expensive. They're not going to get cheaper because they stopped paying $25 an hour people. But it's just, it's the same thing that Mass does the same thing that New York does, but better.
Well, I heard some scuttlebutt on Connecticut adding tolls. They were going to tie their Easy Pass system in with New York and Massachusetts, and they also agreed to share Easy Pass membership information with Massachusetts because apparently people from Connecticut have been bad and not paying their pay-by-plate invoices to the tune of $5 million. So, the people in Massachusetts are probably really, really hungry for that $5 million. You could feed and house and give free college tuition to tons of illegal aliens with that $5 million.
Yeah, I was just going to say, a couple hundred Mexicans.
Think about how wonderful that would be.
Just remember this when Trump runs for president, because of course, the beauty of this, there's like 25 Democrats running for president now, and most of them are around 0%, 0 or 1%, And it's really going to be a great thrill to watch those idiots debate each other. That's going to be fun.
I don't think I would vote for any of them to be the dog catcher in this town.
I've said this time and time again. The best candidate running from the Democratic side isn't even close to the worst candidate that was running when Trump was trying to get elected. And we still got people in here, believe it or not. We truly still have people in here that actually are, that think Democratic. How that can be is totally beyond me. I mean, I don't know what the hell is wrong with somebody like that.
Yeah, well, look at how frickin' Obama got frickin' elected twice, man. Holy Christ.
Hey, Randy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I got that Spanish speaker for you. Hold on a second.
Hola, muy amigos míos. ¿Cómo están ustedes?
How do you say it? Hang on. Buenas noches. Hola. Doesn't that mean nice butt?
Sure. Hey, everybody. I just said happy, good evening, and how's everybody doing out there? And can I bring my dog tomorrow?
Not tomorrow.
I mean, Saturday. Can I bring my dog?
Well, that's kind of a problem because they do say in the rules it's a non-dog park. Dogs are not allowed in the park. I know for a fact that some people have brought well-behaved dogs to that park and they've sat there, but nobody in our group did that. I'm not bringing our dog. I would be a little concerned. I know Jeff from New Jersey he really wants to go, but he has an issue with his dog not being able to go. So I'm not sure if he'll be able to make it or not. But to me, it would be perfectly fine. But I'm not the guy that runs the park.
Qué lástima. We'll have to get a dog sitter for the day.
Yeah, that's what we have to do.
Poor Bromley.
Yeah, he would let go. He would be very good there. There'd be no problem with him, and we would clean up after him if there was a little trinket left. But a lot of people don't, and that's what kills that's what kills it for other responsible dog and pet owners.
Yeah, him and our dog would probably play the whole time, and you wouldn't even notice they were there, except for they were like wrestling around and having the time of their lives.
Yeah, without any doubt. But they'll have to meet each other some other time.
So what do you think? I got this girl, she coos and compliments me in Spanish and French all the time. I'm guessing she's saying nice things like I'm handsome and that I'm handy to have around, or I don't know, maybe she's calling me an idiot. I got no idea.
Well, I would just go by your gut, Russ. And by the way, how could she call you anything besides handsome and nice to be around, right? So, yeah, I'm sure you're right.
Well, she said I'm running with a fairly good-looking crew on the radio, so she approves.
Yeah, we all have great faces for radio, no doubt about that. KB2ZVP at the top.
WA2E.
N1DVL.
WA3FPN.
KC1RS with OP.
I'm going to take a cruise out to the kitchen, get something to drink. Be back in a flash.
So where's all the other people that are normally in here tonight? Where's Bruce? Bruce, are you here? Tom, are you here? I'm trying to think who else. I guess we lost our buddy out in the Boston area.
Yeah, Mark. I thought I heard Mark in there earlier. I guess he's still suffering from Stockholm syndrome with that other net.
K81MW, hi.
Hi, Bruce.
Good evening.
You still didn't switch back to your good radio.
Not yet. Been a while.
I just come up with a really, really brilliant idea.
What's that?
Why not just buy a Kenwood 890, and then you don't have to worry about the 7300. You can leave it totally dedicated to the Tesla experiment.
Well, I could just get another 7300.
You don't want to do that.
Nah, don't spend 900. Spend 3700.
No, they come down. They're like 33, I think.
Well, I'm saving for it.
Did you ever fix your other amplifier yet?
It wasn't the amp. It was it's the radio. The radio with the tuner has an issue. When I use the tuner, so I'm on the same setup, different amp though. But when I engage the tuner to tune the front end of the amp, it acts up every now and then, and I don't know exactly what is going on, but I'm not going to look into it too much because it's just a temporary setup, and I don't intend on running this rig that much.
Right, I got it.
Hello, Bruce.
Good evening, Randy.
You were talking about a temporary setup and not running that rig. Are we talking about your audio?
Yeah.
Okay. It makes you sound younger and taller.
Oh, God, I can't have that.
Hey, just for the hell of it, is anybody watching the scuttlebutt on the ICOM users and that? If that ICOM radio, if they're ever going to straighten that thing out?
I'm a member of that group, that forum, and anytime anybody has a problem, everybody else attacks them because there's nothing wrong with the radio. So I kind of ignored that one. I kind of actually opted out of that. I'm still a member of the 7851 group, but not so much the 7610 anymore.
Well, so in other words, the 7610, you're saying the whoever's the head honcho on the net says there's nothing wrong with the radio?
There is no head honcho. It's just people putting out their opinions.
And they say there's nothing wrong with it.
Well, a lot of people do say there's nothing wrong with it, and a few people have announced that they've had trouble.
Yeah, right. Well, I keep on telling you. I've been telling you this for many years, telling everybody this for many years. Everything on the internet is total BS. The whole thing is just a gigantic BS scam, and that should prove it.
It doesn't prove anything at all. It proves that people have different opinions, and some people take it, some people are just stupid. And it doesn't matter if it's on the internet or what it is. You go to your local courthouse, or you go to your local Stop and Shop. It's exactly the same, Ray. It has nothing to do with the internet whatsoever. The internet doesn't bring evil or good to the world. It's just a means to talk to people, just like ham radio, just like going to the library.
With all the failures that they've had on that 7610, and there's still people saying that there's basically nothing wrong with the radio. So that just tells me the whole thing's BS.
So they're saying it on the ham radio too, Ray. Does that mean all of ham radio is BS?
Well, I don't hear them. We don't hear much of that here on the world-famous Toad Harbor Net, and I think most people by now would not buy a 7610.
But yet that guy on 80 meters just bought one the other day because he said that his friends have them and they don't have any trouble with them.
Yeah, well, I'd love to run one of those radios for a week or two. We'll see how much trouble they have or don't.
It's only like 10% of them that are bad. Is the issue. I mean, 90% of the damn things don't have any issues, or at least the people using them don't. But 10% of a million is a lot.
It's a hell of a lot more than 10%. Who told you 10%?
That's what I read on the forum.
Yeah, see, that's the problem right there. You got to think, we had 10 of them here on the net, and 8 of them have gone back. Think of that number. That's 80%.
Yeah, believe me. Well, believe you me when I tell you. Their failure rate is at least 50%, and it's probably much higher. It's probably virtually 100%, but 10% of the people are too dumb to realize they have the problem.
And when Matt from Michigan reaches out to us and says, look, if you guys got problems with your radios, make sure you get them in right away because we're running out of displays to fix the radios. So that's saying something right there. He knows that the people here are going to have trouble.
That's right. He probably has an 18-wheeler coming once a week with displays in it.
Yeah, it's a big problem. I'm really hoping that they get it fixed because I'm tired of hearing about it, really. I just hope that they get it fixed. And I happen to like ICOM radios, although I did have some problems with one of my ICOM radios years and years ago, and that was a terrible ordeal. But I just hope it for the people that they get, we reach way out for these radios in our stations, and for us to have trouble with them is just, it's heart-wrenching. And that being said, my friend Glenn has got a radio, an ICOM 7600 for sale, and a Commander HF 1500, right, Ray? It's a single tube Commander. He was going to put it on the air, and he's just too stinking busy, and he can't use it. So he said he may as well sell it. So he wants to sell the radio, and he wants to sell the Commander amplifier.
Yeah, it's an HF 1250. That's what it is. Commander HF 1250.
1250. Okay. What's yours? 2500.
Yes. I'll tell you, if anybody wants an amp, you'd be out of your mind not to buy that one. That has got to be that's probably the best amp I've ever used.
How many watts is it?
It'll put out 1,000 watts.
Hey Doc, how's that amp of yours working? I mean, have you put a meter behind that thing? Is that thing up there 800-900 watts, 1,000 watts?
Yeah, it's pretty healthy. I mean, I've got an MFJ watt meter. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? Just watch. I'll do hello. Now turn the amp off. Hello. Yeah, there's the difference.
Yeah, it makes a big difference for sure. Yeah, who knows whose watt meters, how accurate they are, right? But I know it works a lot better with it on than with it off.
Yeah, big difference.
Well, the MFJ says it's putting out pretty damn near 1,000 watts. But like I said, it's an MFJ watt meter, and I don't want to get into a discussion about that. I personally like the damn things because I love that dual needle display.
Oh, those things are terrible. They're junk. You should take it out back and run it over with your go-kart. I like the dual needle display too. My Daiwa is probably not much different than your MFJ meter, and I think it's pretty good, but it gives me relative between A and B, between this rig and with the amplifier. So it's good enough for me.
Yeah, the first dual meter I ever had is the one in the Palstar, and once you get used to it, you couldn't live without it. They're the way to go.
Well, what I like about this one is it's easy to take apart, and I put that tip of that Q-tip on the end of the meter, so now I don't have to hear that annoying ticking sound with the meter hitting the end of the scale.
What's that, 1,000 watts?
Yeah. Well, I use it on the 200-watt scale, so it can really swing. I read the 2,000-watt line, but I keep the meter set for 200 watts, so, I mean, it really is it's just, the thing swings right up there.
Anybody need a watt meter?
Yeah, what do you have for sale again? What's your watt meter?
It's the brand new Daiwa. Is it, what's the 901, what is it, CW, WC, something like that?
That's the one that I had?
Negative.
Are you sure? I think I had that meter. I know I had a 901.
No, negative. This is, it's a CN801 HP3.
Yeah, I have a CN801 HP. I had the 901. That was a 3 kilowatt job.
This is an 801.
Yeah, the 801's a good meter. I like mine a lot. Did you guys watch the president out there in Normandy?
I didn't. I don't think I saw him at Normandy.
He did a great job, and I'll tell you, he did a great job.
Well, again, I'd say about 98% of us on the world-famous Toad Harbor Net are Trump supporters, so all I can say is to the other 2%, what do you think is wrong with you? Is that an in-ground pool or above ground?
It's an above ground pool. It's an above ground pool, Rick.
Right, okay.
Hello, Pete.
Man, I'll tell you one thing, it was an absolutely beautiful day here.
I'm using my loop on the ground. I've been playing around with that since, I don't know, around 4 o'clock. Wow, does it need a common mode? Definitely needs a common mode tilt on it. I'm experimenting with listening to signals and switching between the half-wave dipole and the log. I just got to remember not to transmit into it. So it's been interesting, especially going from daylight to sundown now at the sun setting. So it seems to exhibit a lot of QSB. It seems to exhibit a lot of QSB. I can compared to the dipole. So that's what I've been playing around with. Back to you, Randy.
And that's a log, right? Loop on the ground?
That's right. It's 15 foot square.
Oh boy, that's really small. I know the guys here were talking about that article, but they all made them 30 feet squared. So you're a smart guy. The 15-foot log, is it worthwhile or not? I mean, to me, it seems like everybody that runs those things can get the same, just noise. It's like a low noisy antenna. Just, turn on your attenuator. It doesn't seem like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like that they're panning out.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to work it out in making comparisons. Your signal drops about 36 dB between the dipole and the log, and trying to figure out whether the same thing happens when I listen to Ray. But it's tough on single sideband. It's tough for me to get a consistent F meter. And your peaks are different and so forth. So I've studied you for quite a while now, for maybe an hour, Randy, and there's a 36 dB drop roughly, and the noise just about goes away. But if I need to have a good copper mode choke in there. Without the copper mode choke, the noise level isn't that much different. It's incredible. It's incredible how there must be a lot of noise generated within my house. That's the conclusion I'm coming to. I have a 1-to-1 balance, and then a 1-to-1 choking balance, 1-to-1 low common mode impedance balance, and then a 1-to-1 with a high common mode impedance, common mode impedance, and humongous difference. Even though they're 1-to-1 balance, but the one without the high common mode impedance, the noise really isn't that good. Doesn't reduce it much. So it's developed. The noise must be due to my power system or something in my house. That common mode is conducted out the transmission line, and it gets coupled back into the loop. So if I have a high common mode choke, it can't do that. It can't couple
back into the loop and the noise is much lower. But
Help.
it's been interesting. I've been back to you, Rand. Anyway, I don't know if you want to take it, Randy, or if somebody else wants to take it. WBTU-AQ.
Yeah, well, isolation transformer, I think that's what you're supposed to be using, right? So I think that's probably, maybe it's a different word or different term for what you're using, but everything I've read about those things use isolation transformers. And Mark was making, he was just using a balun, and then he switched to an isolation transformer, and it made a huge difference, just like what you're describing. So I think I think you're hitting it, the nail on the head. But the big thing is right now, tonight, it's a quiet night. Well, see, it's not quiet where you are, I guess, because you get all that noise in your house. And maybe that's perfect for you, but to me, I don't want to do a lot of work if I don't have enough time to do all this work, if it's not going to make it a significant difference. I think I'm going to do the beverage on the ground, bog and stuff like that. They're more useful. I think that's a good enough term. I'd like to try that.
Very good. Yeah, you're right. I have such a high noise level. Here, I have like an S9 right now. I got about an S9 noise level, and a lot of that, or most of it, is all generated within, due to the neighbors that are really close. And I think it's in the power system. I think it's conducted through the, the AC mains. But yeah, it probably is not of much benefit to you there. Anyway, that's what I've been playing around with. And I beat the end-fed half-wave thing to death. But I've had a lot of fun doing it. I worked a lot of stations on 40 and 20 meters with the end-fed half-wave, and I worked European stations and all that on. It's been a lot of fun playing around with that. It really, even though the transformer has about a 1 dB loss in it, it does work pretty well. Worked a lot of stations. I get comparable signal reports, at both ends. But anyway, that's the update from me, WBTU-AQ.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. I like working those bands with my loop. It just seems to play pretty good, and I've got a lot of stuff I'm going to be doing to the loop here. I got big plans. Big plans. So I'm looking forward to this weekend being a good one. And then it'll be a couple weeks before I can get back after it, because we got our big Toad Harbor Summit coming up in a couple weeks. So that weekend will be a bust for me as far as the antenna work. Anyhow, KB2's ZVP.
And 3 or more.
Are you guys hearing Pete out there from Rochester?
If he's under my squelch level right now, probably not, but I think I was.
Well, I've been talking to him for 10 minutes. I mean, were you not paying attention, Mark?
Oh, that's who you were talking to? Yeah, I'm hearing him fine then, yeah.
I don't know, Ray. This guy might not make it.
Well, see, the loop on the ground for you, Randy, is not going to be all that great because you already have a very good loop antenna up as a transmitting antenna. So the only thing the loop on the ground would do for you, just like I say, is just reduce the lightning noise and man-made noise and stuff like that. That's really what I use it for, especially if there's lightning in the area. I can go to that and not have my radio on the transmit antenna, which is way up in the area, It's a little safer that way. But I think you might have better results with the bog, like you're saying, because you've already got that high gain loop.
Yeah, I'm going to get my loop up in the air where I want it, best I can anyway. Over the next couple of weeks, I'll get this thing hopefully up higher, and get the new wire up there, get the new feed line up there, and all that stuff. And once that's all done, I can experiment a little bit with the bog, maybe.
Yeah, I like my log, and like Pete said, once I got that isolation transformer on it geared up, it really came alive. It was kind of impressive.
Didn't you have a bog? I'm sorry, a bog. Didn't you have a bog for a while underground?
No, I never had a bog. I've got actual beverages wire that's about 6 foot above ground. I don't know if you heard that transmission or not.
I did.
Yeah, I have to wait for the lightning crashes to break so my squelch drops.
I don't have to wait for my squelch to drop. I heard what you said, no problem.
Transmit loop on the Kenwood.
What's that, the noise? Oh, you mean using the Kenwood?
Yeah, doing the remote because the lightning crashes are so high. I have all the beverages and everything all set up on the switch for the 7300. I have it set up on the Kenwood side, so I have to use the transmit antenna on the Kenwood when I'm doing crossband, which just lets the loop completely open to whatever it gets on the main transmit antenna, which is just absolutely noisy.
Yeah, I just think that the bog is going to be the way to go for me. I think a beverage would be the absolute best thing I could do, but I just can't. I can do it here, and in certain directions I probably could do it without too much trouble, right? But I kind of don't want to have, a one direction or two direction. I want to be able to switch between the four,
Oh man. Yeah, I understand completely. That's why I have a north, south, east, west, two different beverages that I can listen either direction. But the log, a lot here recently has been outperforming it, I think, for you guys. So I think the beverages are a little bit better on the lower angle stuff than the log is. The log really likes the higher angle stuff close in within 500 miles.
So you're saying your lug is outperforming your beverage?
Yeah, close in for you guys. It is a lot of the times it is doing rather well, much better.
Oh wow, okay, that's interesting, isn't it, Randy? How you make it out with your log?
I don't bother. I just run the antenna I have and live with it. The transmitter, the station on the other end, if he's running a high-powered station, I can hear him just fine.
Yeah, I was asking actually Randy, because I know he was working on one. Are you still working on yours?
No, it's still in a heap.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of work, and I wish everybody had a better signal and we could hear them better, but I still think that the thing to do is have the best system you can have, and certainly the receiving, whatever you can do with a receiver is important.
Well, here's what the way I look at this. I never have any problem hearing Carl. I never have any problem hearing you. And most of the time, Tim. I don't have trouble hearing all three of you. The rest of the stations are a little iffy sometimes.
Yeah, but it's ham radio, so it's not like just talking to 3 people or 5 people. I want to be able to hear anybody that comes in there.
Yeah, well, here's where I get my bad reputation. Here, some kind of thing with wings just came in. It looks like an ant with wings. What is that?
Termite.
Just blew it away. Is that a termite, an ant with wings?
Yeah.
It's that time of the year they're swarming.
Yeah, is that a termite?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch coming out of my fence post the other day, millions, and I sat there with 2 squirt bottles and doused them.
Doused them with what?
Poison.
Wound up.
Gonna get you, Ray. You better get it.
I just see here that Dr. John died today.
Who's that?
A famous musician.
Oh, okay. Who's
Elton?
DeLong? Who's
Dr.
DeLong? The guy that is running the UFO thing. He's some kind of famous musician. What band did he play with? Nobody knows who DeLong is?
I don't watch TV. I don't know.
Well, he's the guy that was getting all the UFO people together. He's the one that got that show Unidentified going. He brought all those top government officials. He writes letters to senators and to so forth, and he's some kind of famous singer. But I don't know what band he's with.
Yeah, I read a story about him. You're right. He was a singer, and he gave it all up. He's not anymore. But he was one of the real popular bands.
Well, look him up on your computer. They'll tell you.
Lawrence Welk.
I don't think that was it.
I don't know why anybody ever liked Lawrence Welk. That was terrible music.
Oh my God, my mom used to force me to watch that crap. Oh, I hated it.
Same thing with my grandfather.
I love Lawrence Welk, because right after that came Archie Bunker.
Yeah, Carroll O'Connor was great in that part. He was a good actor. Carroll O'Connor was a very good actor.
Yeah, he sure was. He was good in The Heat of the Night, too.
Yeah, he was good in that, and he was good in that war movie there. He was a general in one of the war movies. He was very good in that. I think he might have been in Patton.
I don't know about that.
Blink 182. Yeah, that's what he was in. Blink 182.
Never heard of it.
Is that a band?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
He had some pretty good songs. I mean, it was modern stuff. It was... huh?
You see that peeper out there?
Where? Oh, peepers?
Outside this window.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I got peepers out here. So it's about time. Hear that? Man, he is loud. Is he coming through the mic?
No.
Really? I guess I have this thing cut back enough where it's got to be coming through.
So noisy tonight. I can't hear him.
Can't hear my peepers. Air conditioner in the window and the window closed and the air conditioner's on, and I gotta go to the back door to hear them. Darn it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna pull the plug. I'm pooped out, and I got a big day tomorrow. Oh boy, do I have a big day tomorrow.
Why? Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. So you're going to have so much fun tomorrow, you're going to be tired.
Well, I don't think I'm going to be even able to stay very long because I do have a big day in the plant tomorrow. We got a lot, we're just going cranking. We've got a lot of people coming in that don't normally come in, and you got to see these guys, right? I can't talk about it on the air. I'll call you on the telephone and tell you about it because I just can't, because it would be very, very foolish of me to discuss, to drive. Yeah, it would be foolish of me to describe these people over the air because who knows? Some of them might be smart enough to know somebody that can have a ham radio license.
Yeah, okay. Well, no big deal. Okay, well, I'm going to go too then. You're going to go, I'm going to go. I'll go figure out, watch something on television. My cable bill creeps up $2 every couple of months. Those bastards, they're just no good. They just keep on creeping up and up and up and up and up. They're disgusting. Another disgusting setup, But you got to have Fox News, so I guess it's worth it just to watch them. Okay, see you later. N1 DVL.
First of all you need is to hook up a set of rabbit ears. You'll get Fox News with no sweat. And just call up the cable company and say, look, I've got a great offer from the DirecTV people, and I'm going to switch. But, would you mind telling me what I got to do to get you guys unhooked from my TV? And they will come back to you with a really, really good offer. And if they don't, well, just put on the rabbit ears. Watch Fox News there.
Yeah, but it's not Fox and Friends. It's not the big Fox, 24-hour-a-day news network. It might be Fox News, but nothing like you see on television. Plus, there's all the flying saucer stuff and everything. So I bitch about it, but you're kind of stuck with it. Okay, I'm going to go anyway. See you later. N1 DVL.
Well, I do get Fox News and Fox and Friends and all that. I do get that. The main Fox thing. And Mike was complaining because he was telling the satellite people he didn't get Fox News, and they sent him an off-the-air receiving antenna to hook up so he can get Fox.
Well, I don't know. I got an over-the-air receiving antenna. I'll click it on maybe next time it's raining and go through it and see if I can find Fox. Maybe they're out there. I don't know. Okay, again, I will see you later. N1 DVL. Don't forget that what I called you about on the telephone, okay?
Yeah, no problem. And I'm not with 100% certainty either because I haven't done it in a long time. But I know that, like when I wanted to watch Fox Sports 1, I got that off the air with no sweat, And the off the air antennas just work great. Even the little rabbit ears. I don't forget how many stations we get that are crystal clear. You can't tell that they're not coming right through a cable or a satellite dish. Well, you can tell they're not on a satellite dish when it's really raining outside because you get a pretty good picture still, and the satellite will lose it. All right, I'll see you. KB2ZVP 73, everybody.
I get 29 stations on my outside antenna, and that's all we got. So,
That's what Maureen says. We get 20-some stations, and they play great, right? You can't tell that it's not cable.
Oh, heck no. In fact, I think it's better a lot of times.
There you go. All right. There's your public service announcement from the world-famous Toad HarborNet. KB2ZVP.
Hey, Randy. The whole crew. I got to run.
Good night, Randy and everybody. WAH-yes.
Yeah, good night.
7-3, KD1 Mountain Whiskey.
Radio, KB2ZVP. WB2 BYP. Are you around tonight, John? Nothing heard. KB2ZVP.
here this evening?
Sierra Victor Kilo. Kilo Alpha 3, Sierra Victor Kilo. Hello, radio.